Garner says Samuel told her, "Mum, there are two things I don't like. I don't like men with cameras, and I don't like being laughed at."
Monday, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner's 18-year-old daughter was seen out in Los Angeles, sporting a recognizable outfit, a two-toned pink dress, the breezy Dolce & Gabbana design.
It looks like Jennifer Garner, who's normally so graceful and calm, has finally reached her limit and decided to spill the tea on the drama surrounding J.Lo and Ben's divorce. Word on the street is that Jen Garner isn't too thrilled with how J.Lo has been acting lately in public. And honestly, who can blame her? Believe it or not, J.Lo has been using Jen and Ben's 3 kids to stay in the spotlight, despite all of Jen's efforts to keep them out of the tabloids.
And she talked about what it was like to be followed, and how scary it was, and how much she didn't want to go places because she knew it was embarrassing and it was scary, and it wasn't.
Here's the backstory. J.Lo is reportedly furious because she expected Ben to come crawling back to her after their split. But surprise, Ben is out here living his best life. He's spending quality time with Jennifer Garner and their kids, completely unbothered by J.Lo's attempts to get his attention. He even celebrated his 52nd birthday on August 15th with Garner and their children, while J.Lo was busy posting thirst traps on Instagram.
He took to her Instagram today to post throwback pictures from her own birthday, and there's no mention of a happy birthday to him. Okay, he wasn't present for her birthday, which we all know now. Is this her way of saying, hey, happy birthday to you when it was my birthday when you weren't there, so I'm not going to be there for your birthday? There's definitely some kind of subliminal message behind her post.
Since Ben hasn't been giving her any attention, it seems like J.Lo has moved on to plan B. Apparently, she's been setting up these super staged paparazzi walks with Ben and Jennifer Garner's kids, trying to present herself as the perfect stepmom. It's got serious PR vibes, right? And it doesn't stop there. J.Lo even gave Violet, Ben's daughter, a Dolce & Gabbana dress for a casual day out. Like, okay, we see you, J.Lo, but are the kids really the best accessories for a publicity stunt? It's wild because over the past few months, J.Lo seems to have been spending more time with Ben's kids than with her own. Honestly, Jennifer Garner has every right to be furious. She's been playing it cool, focusing on her kids and living her life, while J.Lo appears to be in full damage control mode. It's pretty clear that J.Lo is trying to control the narrative, but Ben isn't buying into it. Neither is Jen Garner. So what's next? Will J.Lo continue with the thirst traps and PR stunts? And what did Jen Garner have to say about J.Lo using her kids for publicity? Let's break this down. Garner expressed her gratitude to Entertainment Tonight for respecting the no kids policy that she firmly believes in.
Because of you all just taking the stand and saying, you know what, this is gross. Everyone is falling in line, and it's just going to change everything for my kids. So I can't thank you.
Jen Garner versus the paparazzi. Jennifer Garner and Jennifer Lopez couldn't be more different, and that's becoming even more obvious as their lives play out in the public eye, especially amid J.Lo's separation from Garner's ex-husband, Ben Affleck. Let's start with the spotlight. Jen Garner views the paparazzi as a necessary evil, just part of the job when you're a big-time actress in Hollywood, but it's clear that she'd rather be anywhere else than in front of those cameras. However, when it comes to J.Lo, the story is quite different. When it comes to her 3 children, Jen Garner has been incredibly protective and has made it her mission to safeguard their privacy. She once described a particularly stressful decade where there were always 5 or 6 cars, and sometimes even up to 15 or 20, parked outside her house every weekend, waiting to snap photos. Looking back on that time, she said she really feels the stress of it and could cry just thinking about it. She had to make a choice. She could either spend her mornings making breakfast and packing lunches for her kids or getting herself ready to face the paparazzi. And for Jen, the choice was clear. Her kids came first. Garner is so serious about protecting her children from paparazzi that, back in 2013, she testified before the California Senate in support of an anti-paparazzi bill, which was eventually signed into law. She teamed up with Halle Berry and shared some terrifying stories about how the constant presence of paparazzi affected their families. Jen Garner revealed that the paparazzi were essentially making her kids' lives a nightmare even before they were born. She even shared a frightening story about a stalker who had once threatened to harm her unborn baby. This person was later found hiding among the paparazzi outside her children's school. The constant presence of these photographers made her feel like her children's safety and privacy were always at risk.
Today, Jennifer Garner took her family's fight against the paparazzi to California's State Assembly.
I don't want a gang of shouting, arguing, law-breaking photographers who camp out everywhere we are, all day, every day, to continue traumatizing my kids. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today. Sorry. The price paid for pictures of celebrity children is now absurdly high. They have a bounty on their heads every day. Being stalked has been hard for me, but it's beyond what a child should have.
Now, J.Lo is the complete opposite. She thrives on attention and lives for the cameras. She has been caught staging elaborate paparazzi walks multiple times and even bringing her kids along for these planned photo ops. For J.Lo, staying in the spotlight seems to be the main goal, regardless of the impact.
Thank you.
Since her split from Ben, J.Lo has taken things up a notch. The carefully orchestrated photo ops have only become more frequent, and it's clear she's pulling out all the stops to stay in the headlines.
The Hills star Whitney Port is calling out Jennifer Lopez for setting up paparazzi shots in the Hamptons. In the recent episode of her podcast, Whitney says Candy Kitchen in Bridgehampton is so special that I'm pretty sure J.Lo the other day was riding her bike to get a scoop of ice cream for a paparazzi shot. Her husband clarified that J.Lo didn't even go into the ice cream shop and she was just there for the exterior shot. He called Jennifer's behavior weird and said that she was addicted to attention, and Whitney agreed. She says that's her vibe, she's popped everywhere. Her continually looking hot in cute settings is what keeps the machine.
It's pretty wild to see the difference. While Jen Garner is doing everything she can to keep her kids out of the public eye, J.Lo is doing everything possible to stay in the spotlight. Given the drama between her and Ben, it makes sense that J.Lo is trying so hard to control the story. But this just makes Jen Garner look even more like the classy, protective mum she's always been. In the end, the only real things these two women have in common are their names and their past relationships with Ben Affleck. When it comes to handling fame, privacy and public scrutiny, they're total opposites. What J.Lo chooses to do to stay in the spotlight is her choice, but involving another woman's kids in her PR efforts crosses the line. Believe it or not, J.Lo is now pulling Jen Garner's children into her damage control scheme, and Garner is not pleased about it. Ever since Ben Affleck left the house he shared with J.Lo, he's been spending a lot of time with Jennifer Garner and their kids. This has J.Lo absolutely fuming. She really thought Ben would come running back to her, but that didn't happen. Now it looks like she's desperately trying to prove she's the ultimate stepmom. People are accusing her of using Ben and Jen Garner's kids to boost her own image. On August 13th, just 2 days before Ben's birthday, J.Lo was spotted with Ben and Jen Garner's 12-year-old son, Samuel. She treated him to a shopping spree at Neiman Marcus in Beverly Hills. But honestly, judging by the paparazzi videos, Samuel looked tired and super uncomfortable with all the cameras around him.
Wait, who is it?
What makes this situation even worse is that Jen Garner has previously revealed that Samuel, out of her 3 kids, has the hardest time dealing with the paparazzi. During her appearance on the Dr. Oz show, she said that Samuel really dislikes the cameras and the men behind them. He even says, "I don't like cameras, I don't like men with cameras, and I don't like being laughed at." But J.Lo didn't stop with just Samuel. She also targeted Ben and Jen Garner's 18-year-old daughter, Violet. J.Lo tried to win her over by gifting her an old Dolce & Gabbana dress. Violet was recently spotted wearing the two-tone DG wrap dress during a lunch outing in LA. Fans aren't impressed. They think J.Lo can't let go of Ben and is now using Violet to maintain some sort of connection with him. This move is looking like a major misstep for J.Lo, especially after the whole Greatest Love Story documentary she put out. Fans were quick to criticize her for this latest stunt. Jen Garner had a relationship with a Rod for 4 years, but you don't see her staying in touch with his kids, right? Remember those Christmas photos with everyone in matching pajamas, looking like the perfect family? Well, people aren't buying into J-Lo's current act. And guess who else isn't having it? That's right, Jennifer Garner. Word on the street is that Jen Garner has been doing everything she can to keep things civil between her and J-Lo. But after J-Lo's latest paparazzi stunts involving her kids, Jen apparently went full on mama bear and told J-Lo to back off. Can you blame her? Jen has worked so hard to shield her kids from the tabloids, and now she's worried that once J-Lo and Ben's divorce is finalized, J-Lo might just walk away, leaving Jen to deal with the fallout and explain why J-Lo is suddenly out of the picture.